Good evening and welcome to another edition of Eye on Port. It is proudly brought to you by Goyle Company Limited, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Serene Insurance as well, and the media partner is the Business and Financial Times. If you tune into Ghana Television tomorrow, that's Monday at 8, no, I should say GH1, on Monday at 8:30 p.m. You should watch a bridge version of this program. Also on Ghana Television on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. you should watch a bridge version of the program. Should there be any changes in the program, definitely you'll be alerted by these houses, particularly in the season in which we find ourselves. It's electoral season, and so a lot of programmings are changing. If it doesn't air on GH1 at the time I have mentioned, or GTV at the time I've mentioned, the actual time should be communicated to you. Today we're going to talk about trading and the elections, national elections. What difference does it make? We'll look at before national elections, during national elections, and then we'll look at after national elections. What can we do to get businesses back on their feet and all of that after some of the reluctance we see before. And then we'll look at what should be happening to prop up businesses and all of that. That's what we're going to analyze with the men who are in charge. We'll take a look at some of the numbers that have happened also within the industry and get to see whether these numbers can go up going forward. My guests are already seated. We'll return pretty shortly after the break and we will start our discourse.
Every now and again, Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Sa coronavirus yare no yare a sign pa. So obinya bi na se opo wagu so ana se ohwinti gu so a utumenya yare ni bi.
Okadi ni bahani onaka oyehila ekoji. Ohe banye do. Oba wulo. Ogoba hunu. Oba chine. O jamba wohe. Oba na sen kaka. Mekme musunchon. Mekme nuni enihi. Chitumoboni nke jemo femo ba chon okadi neko.
Coronavirus infection, the symptoms can range from mild, one of it being asymptomatic. Asymptomatic just means that you may not have any symptoms at all.
and the disease process can gradually worsen to be a severe form, the severest being ultimately death.
We are expected to sanitize our hands when our hands are not visibly soiled or you can't really see dirt on your hands. If you can see dirt on your hands, the best thing to do is to wash your hands with soap and running water.
If you're using any of the cloth face masks, always make sure you have a rubber bag ready to receive it when you remove it, or you have a bowl of warm soapy water in which you can place the mask and wash. Wash your mask, dry in the hot sun for at least 5 hours, and apply heat by way of ironing.
Utiliser les ports de Tema et de Takoradi, c'est avoir un traitement rapide et sécurisé de vos marchandises diverses en conteneurs, en sac ou en vrac, ainsi que tous vos véhicules en transit. Le Ghana a construit un parking bien pavé pour tous les véhicules en transit. Une nouvelle gare frigorifique pour le stockage de la marchandise congelée en transit. Avec un nouveau centre de traitement de données construit et la mise en œuvre efficace d'un guichet unique national qui permet aux données d'être accessibles par tous les intervenants, le traitement des dossiers dans les ports du Ghana est maintenant efficace et plus efficient. Utiliser les ports du Ghana, c'est profiter des systèmes de portes électroniques et d'exploitation des terminaux ainsi que de la réservation des navires en ligne, entraînant ainsi un parc de camions fiable pour un acheminement de vos marchandises dans les brefs délais avec un suivi satellitaire jusqu'à nos frontières.
Les femmes, à vous les honneurs.
Les ports de Tema et de Takoradi célèbrent la femme. Que les bienfaits de cette célébration apportent plus de bénédictions.
Then he should play the advert again.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water. Or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Sa coronavirus yare no yare esan pa. So obi nya bi na se opo wagu so ana se ohwinti gu so a utumenya yare ni bi.
Okadi ni bahani onaka oyehila ekoji. Ohe banye do. Oba wulo. Ogo bahunu. Oba chine. O jamba wohe. Oba na sen kaka. Mekme musunchon. Mekme nu ni enihe. Chitumoboni nke jemo femo bash chon okadi neko.
Coronavirus infection, the symptoms can range from mild, one of it being asymptomatic. Asymptomatic just means that you may not have any symptoms at all, and the disease process can gradually worsen to be a severe form, the severest being ultimately death.
We are expected to sanitize our hands when our hands are not visibly soiled or you can't really see dirt on your hands. If you can see dirt on your hands, the best thing to do is to wash your hands with soap and the running water.
If you're using any of the cloth face masks, always make sure you have a rubber bag ready to receive it when you remove it, or you have a bowl of warm soapy water in which you can place the mask and wash. Wash your mask, dry in the hot sun for at least 5 hours, and apply heat by way of ironing.
Utiliser les ports de Tema et de Takoradi, c'est avoir un traitement rapide et sécurisé de...
Okay, welcome back to the program. It's Eye on Pod, and we are live here in the studios of Metro Television in Cantonment. Our topic today, we are looking at trading before national elections, also during national elections, and then we'll look at after national elections. What are the dynamics, and what are some of the things we can be learning from the dynamics we see when it comes to trading within electoral periods like what we have this evening. And I should remind you, though, that His Excellency, the President, will be speaking at 8 p.m. I'm told we will stick to our time and close on time, though, so you may want to join us and share your thoughts with us. It is the eve of elections, and we take business and trading very serious. So we're choosing this period and moment to discuss this particular topic. At 8, we'll be handing over to His Excellency the President. My guest in the studio is Mr. Yauche, the President, Association of Customs House Agents of Ghana, ASHAD. Mr. Yauche, pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you.
Also in the studio is Dr. Joseph Obing, the President of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. Doc, pleasure to have you in the studio. And then also with us is the Assistant Commissioner of Customs and Tema Sector Commander of Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Mr. Joseph Edu-Chei. Sir, good to have you in the studio as well. Now, the Security Department of the Ports and Harbours Authority undertook a very important exercise within the port environment. Let's take a look at that quickly, and then we'll be back for the discuss.
Port security agencies working within Ghana's port enclave have undertaken an intensive exercise that was aimed at assessing the level of coordination of the nation's security apparatus, as well as identify gaps to improve on towards an impenetrable port. The inter-agency security exercise, dubbed Dukadaya, was also to satisfy requirements of the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code, which prescribes responsibilities for relevant stakeholders of the various ports across the globe. The allied participating security institutions, including the GPHA Security, Ghana Navy, the Army, the Marine Police, and National Security, engaged in some simulation exercises such as stowaway detection and disembarkation, how to nullify improvised explosive devices, narcotic interceptions during rummaging activities by the K9 team, diffusion of potential insurgencies in the port space, etc. The Tema Port Security Manager, Colonel William Kwabia, explained that such activities are important for his outfit as they seek to identify certain weaknesses inherent in the security structures so as to give room for corrective measures.
We have been able to identify some of the interagency gaps that we need to bridge. So I would say I'm very satisfied with the outcome of the exercise.
He continued by explaining the choice of certain simulation exercises that did enough to mimic realistic scenarios which tested the effectiveness of the security personnel.
We wanted to bring reality into the exercise as much as possible. You realize that the people who came were armed, and the Gapoha security is not armed. So we rely on the Ghana police in order to beef up our security. Eventually, they were supported by the military and the navy, and then we were able to kick out the armed bandits.
The chairman of the Port Facility Security Coordinating Committee and harbour master for the Tema Port, Captain Francis Kwesi Micah, expressed pleasure at the success of the exercise, which enabled the Allied Security Group know their capabilities in containing some of the situations. He stressed the need for improved communication skills among the agencies.
We importantly had to try to get to know of our capabilities, one, by containing the situation, but much more importantly, our communication skills by use of the recognized communication gadgets, that is the UHF sets, etc., etc.
He said consistency in such exercises would continue to enhance the capabilities of the national security apparatus responsible for the protection of the highly vital national economic assets, which are the ports of Ghana.
I believe that going forward, once we are able to work with this interplay, we should be prepared at all times to safeguard the security of this national asset.
So that's that important exercise that ensued at the port of Tema in the course of the week. Back in the studio, my guest and our subject for tonight is discussing the electoral season and trading activities. Mr. Ache, I'm going to start with you. You have been in the port for quite some time as a freight forwarder, as a broker, and all of that. What's been the observation in periods like this, electoral periods like this? What's the trend of business?
Thank you. During periods like this, the temptation is for the clients to look at the security situation in the country.
Okay.
They start as early as July, so they can make their orders, do their shipments, and clear their goods, and of course warehouse them or start selling them. So in situations like this, the paramount issue that they consider is security. In relation to security, they also look or listen to the campaign messages of all the political parties. Fortunately for us this time, at least they know who NDC are and they know who NPP are, and basically they know that they are all quite friendly to the business community. The other issue that you also look at is, will there be any substantial changes in their policies as far as their manifestos or their programs are concerned? If one party campaigns on the fact that when I come back, I will raise import duties to 500%, then they will have to look at their notes very well. Then do I need to import all my consignments here before the 7th of January? Or do I need to wait because another party also says that I'm going to reduce import duties by so much? Now, if I bring all my goods under 20% before 7th of January and party A wins, and party A reduces the import duties from 20 to 5, it means that I will have a big problem selling my stocks. So importers, and in fact the business community, they look at all these factors before they decide on what to do during before elections. Of course, we also have that consideration of the Xmas festivities or goods to be imported for the Xmas season. Do I need to, how do I marry security and me trying to cash out on the Xmas festivities? So that if you are not careful, because security may restrain you, but at the same time you lose because you may also need goods for the Xmas. After all, after 7th December, life goes on. So as at now, there's not much considerations as far as security is concerned. The situation looks quite relaxed, and people have done down their imports and are not too apprehensive about that things may go the wrong way. So I think some considerations have been made, and it hasn't changed much. Importations are quite still on the normal level, and it hasn't really affected us too much.
So I know that somebody like Dr. Hassan Ayarega, for instance, had mentioned that he would have duty-free, free port, kind of. And so I was interested when you said that, you know, some would look at the possibilities of having import duties fall, and some would look at all of that. But in terms of security, if a businessman is watching security within an electoral period, what is he looking out for?
Again, he's looking at the policies, how the reactions of all political parties.
Because what would make him be scared that the environment is insecure? What would make a businessman say, okay, this terrain, this period is not good for me to bring that or bring that?
Well, they will look at the general security situation in the country. There are a lot of fights here and there. You know, some African countries before elections or during elections, there have been insecurities, and the fact that at times people break into warehouses.
Problems here and there.
Yes, pockets of problems here and there. They break into warehouses, and especially the port. It could be that even militia can come to the port and seize operations at the port. You may not be able to transport your goods from the port to your warehouses, or they may even come and burn your warehouses and all that.
But these are things we haven't seen yet.
No, these are the things we have. But we also are guided by the fact that these things may happen to us, especially when it has happened to some other African countries. And mind you, even the shipping line and other companies, also the stakeholders, they also look at whether they even have to allow their vessels even to come here, knowing the situations are quite volatile if it is. But then, fortunately for Ghanaians, we don't have such a history, and we are very confident about these things,
Okay, and the fact that we haven't had that kind of history, do you think that that has also helped over the period to the extent that till now we are not seeing significant, or per your submission, we haven't seen significant influence of that kind of reluctance when it comes to security as a reason in our trading pattern, because the history is not there?
Yes, it is. It is so, because the history is not there, and therefore people are very confident. They are all the same. Look at the barometer of the situation. They look at how the chances of the political leaders. They look at the reaction of the police and the security personnel, and they're still very confident that, as for Ghana, we know Ghanaians are quite peace-loving. It's quite a peace-loving state, and nothing will happen. Looking at the history, of course, we may have agitations here and there, but then eventually, and at the end of the day, the belief is that, as for Ghana, we are still peaceful and nothing will happen. So it's been, life goes on ever since these elections started.
You deal, and I'm staying on you before I move to Dr. Obeng right now. You deal with the shipping lines, who are multinational companies, on behalf of the likes of Dr. Obeng, who are the business folks. And then you deal with the security folks as well. But dealing with the shipping lines as multinationals, who are often foreigners, or in most cases foreigners, what is the mood? What is the level of confidence as a country we have been able to grant when it comes to security for them, per what you have observed?
From what we have observed at the port, there hasn't been any problem with security at all.
And then the confidence that the foreigners have in us?
Yes, they still have so much confidence in us. And we haven't had a situation where they are saying that because of security, we are reducing our vessels to Tema.
That hasn't happened?
No, that hasn't happened. It's been Even they have to reduce their vessels to terminal, it could be some other reasons apart from security.
Okay.
It could be that there are no goods to be sold or there are not enough cargoes to be brought in. But that's for security. I think that we should be very proud of that. We haven't had problems with the security at the port. We haven't had problems with security with the business people, and that could be a paramount factor for them not to import goods into the country.
What about anticipated policy changes and all of that? That should tables go the different ways at any point in time politically, regime-wise? There's a possibility of this policy going this way, or this trade policy going that way, or trade policy going the other way. Is that also playing within?
It is playing within, but as I said earlier on, we've tested NDC before, we have tested MPP before, and we know substantially there's not so much of a difference in terms of trade policies, yes. And at times too, we are also guided by the fact that we are still members of ECOWAS and we are also members of other international bodies, organizations, and that you can't shift too much away from what has been agreed upon. Yeah. Therefore, there's so much confidence that none of the political parties may do something so substantial to affect trading at the port there. Or when any of them comes in, you'll still be within the parameters within we expect any government to operate and make business good at the port there.
Okay. Doctor, can you help us paint that picture of how business was and whether there's been any change within this period? We have just a day, a few hours to start voting and all of that. Has anything changed?
Yeah, if I'm to analyze the year, it will be very difficult, because then it will be very difficult to distinguish the effects of the COVID and then the election, because these are the two. Yes, but it's very important because they have coincided. Yeah. And then you will have to know how to draw the lines, the effects of election as against the effects of COVID. But generally, you know that events, serious events all over the world influences trading activities. Yeah. And that's what we should all know. And the elections have been conducted over the years in Ghana, and most times it influences or induces trade in one way or the other. Yeah. The businessman is normally very rational and very cautious. And then we read the times to make our businesses. And so if there's a general anxiety as a result of a pending election and all that, then definitely we know that it will affect the way we do our business, because we know what we call forecasting and all that. We have to understand what is ahead of you before you take a decision for now. Yeah. And that's how election come to play in some of these things. But to tell the truth, things have been very normal after the lockdown. Okay. And business have started going on as usual. And then Ghanaians have voted throughout the years, and now they've known the trend that before the election, the talks, the shouts and all that, and then things calms down after the election. So everything seems to be on the normal, and we don't see any major effect in terms of inflow or goods or otherwise. Okay. The only problem that we'll be facing is the delays that have caused because of the COVID. Most people were under lockdown. They weren't even much resource because of the long time of being confined under the lockdown before things stabilize for normal business. So when planning, don't also forget that our election is also coincided with the Christmas festivities. So it's tied. And for this year, COVID, Christmas and all that, and we are managing all of that. Yeah. And I believe for now, I would say that things are very normal. But generally, elections have impact on, but whatever impact it is, we have the negative or the positive. Sometimes the demand patterns change, because you know during elections government spending goes high, and then when it goes high, it means that it has to influence or affect an election-related product in the market. For instance, electricians will buy, politicians will buy street lights for the villages and all that. Then it will help those people in that industry to shore up their sales and all that. These are some of the ways that it also affected positively. And then uncertainty or drive the movement of money itself. This happens normally on behalf of the on the part of the foreigners.
Uncertainty drive movement of money.
Yeah, because most of them, even during election period, they send their monies out to their countries.
I see.
This is mostly by the foreigners, and I know what I'm talking about. And also show the movement of money and all that. And after the election, if everything is certain for them, they bring them back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will come back to you to look at this particular line, the uncertainties driving monies and moving monies away, and what sort of impact that has on the national economy when we come back from elections. Because obviously if monies are pushed away, particularly from foreign partners and all of that outside the country during the period of the uncertainty, what do we do to pick? Because once monies move out, it also has a way of affecting our currencies and all of that. So we'll look at how we can rebalance that. But AC, if you can help us get a sense of, and the picture, a sense of the trend of trading, if there are numbers to show, I'll be glad to understand whether we have seen some level of decline within this period, which is not usual, because usually one would expect that between, let's say, September or August, September coming, there should be some peak. People are importing for Christmas and all of that. So people expect to see that kind of peak. Do we see that peak, or because of elections, the numbers are not showing that peak? And is it because of the elections or COVID?
Thank you very, very much. You know, this year, for instance, January foresaw that things will not be as we expected. So somewhere in February, the board and then the top management organized a retreat. So we all went to Kumasi, and it was there that the Commissioner General launched his project, which is roadmap to excellence, and then urged all officers to do things anew, because we have been doing things as usual. So he urged us to change our ways of doing things, and that even gave us the motivation that no matter this thing we find ourselves, no matter the situation we find ourselves, we will do our work as expected of us. And then therefore, as you said, in the during the COVID time, the port was not locked down, so we worked, but we worked at a very low capacity. And then when things started to improve, when the lockdown was removed, and then we expected normal business report, we had a change of service, GCNet and then Westbrook shut down, and then came ICOMS. And then in June, because the system was new, people did not people were not adjusted, and so there were challenges. And that year, that month gave us the worst revenue per fund, which was negative 46.22.
The month of June.
Yeah, the month of June, revenue went down.
When icons began.
Yes, when icons began. But it was not because the service was bad. It was not a service problem, but because the implementers and then the users of the system were not abreast. They did not understand, and so people made mistakes. If you touch a button, it can even block your transaction, and then for about a month, people could not process the declaration, and that made some process declaration in the system to lock up, and people could not pay. And when July, we went into July, and then people started becoming used to the system. Yeah. Revenue picked up again, and then we were able to come to negative 9.79.
Okay.
And then in August, when we were getting used to the system, the negative deviation became 0.73.
Interesting.
And so it was only in September, and then in September we got 3.669. But in October, we were able to erase the negative deviation, and we got 12.36 positive deviation. And now in November, we realized that the volume of trade has come down, and so we anticipated a negative deviation. But God being so good, that was when we got positive 2.14, and then yes, in November.
So you exceeded that was beyond your expectation.
Yeah,
your
that
target.
was beyond it. But we were able to achieve over 2.something percent positive deviation. And so in December, being this a Christmas season, we expect that goods inflow will be high, so that people would declare and then pay.
I thought the same for November, though. I thought you should have expected goods inflow to be for November as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm coming in. But you know, so far as November, looking at the trade volumes, we used to do over 3,000 containers scanning a day, but as at now we are doing about over a little over 400. We are doing a little over 400, and then checking from MPS, even though containers are coming, people are not clearing.
Okay.
But
the containers are
coming, but people are not clearing, all because of what the two speakers have said, uncertainty, and then all this, and then people are apprehensive. People are apprehensive, all because of the election promises and the rest, and so people are just holding on to see what will have happened after the 7. But we at the port believe that elections have come, elections have gone. Xmas all the time. December is the time we rake in more revenue for the state, and so after 7th December, I hope importers and then the clearing agents and the brokers will come forward and then do business as usual.
Maybe Mr. Yache, if the containers are coming, and that's the part that struck me before I go to the others. If the containers are coming, yet they are not being cleared, is the part of apprehension or uncertainty being held by your folks or by the businessmen who, because you advise the businessmen that, okay, this time let's go and clear for you. I think it's better to clear at this time or clear at that time. Who is not who is apprehensive? Is it the businessman or the broker? You?
The broker is not apprehensive, and the businessman is a bit more relaxed now.
Okay.
I suspect that people are not too concerned clearing their goods from the port because they realize that there is no absolutely any security risk as far as these elections are concerned, especially at this time. So it's like business as normal.
As usual.
Yes.
Okay.
What
there may be one or two that's
but what is there to be afraid of? What is there to talk about? What is there?
He mentioned promises. Couldn't the fact that one expects to see that, okay, after elections, something would happen, maybe they would reduce this, so maybe that will go up, maybe that will happen. And so let me just wait and see.
We haven't had too many promises from for the major political parties.
Towards the trading side?
The trading side. No, we haven't had too many. The only thing we had was about these salvage vehicles, which has also been held on.
It's good you brought that up because wouldn't you also say that the salvage one has also led to a bit of increase or rise in importation of cars, because a lot of people anticipated that may happen and it didn't happen, and in the period where they anticipated that it would happen, a lot of people sort of rushed to bring some of these things up, and you expect that it would go high. Importation of cars, for instance, would go high.
Yeah, the rush is there. The apprehension,
and is that influencing anything?
Yes, it's influencing the importation of vehicles at this time. The apprehension is that they will call you and ask you what is happening to the act on salvage vehicles. It's on hold. Now, assuming Party A wins, and Party A says that yes, I'm going to continue with this implementation of this act, then it means that you could have beaten the deadline.
Yeah. By importing now.
You have importing now. But then the issue is that people are not too. They are not too scared about any new policy or drastic changes at the port, and therefore, as I said earlier on, it's like a normal business, and the people are not too, as the commissioner said, even if the containers are at the port, you see, if it had been that the people were so apprehensive about the security situation, everyone would come, please clear my containers, let me go and put my containers. Yeah, there will be rush
to clear,
to put my goods in the warehouse. Or I may not even bring in the containers at all. Now, they have gone ahead, they've imported the containers. Why are they leaving the containers at the port? Because they think that nothing may happen, or they expect that nothing drastic will change in terms of security. And therefore, they keep on clearing their goods at the normal levels. They are not too scared about anything.
Doctor, is it also possible that the interest for elections and voting is also growing, and so a lot of people want to participate? People want to leave their goods at Abosokai and go to their hometown and go and vote. People who have imported people want to be part of the process, and so okay, let me leave my goods. I have imported, all right, but not because I'm scared of the process or something, but I want to be part of the system. Sometimes in the past, people said there was a lot of apathy in the past because we didn't understand political system well and the dynamics of our democracy and all of that. Gradually, are we getting to that point where participation on the part of businesses are growing to the extent that in an electoral period like this, 2-3 days to elections, people want to keep their goods, close up their shops, travel back to their constituencies and vote, and then return to business as usual?
A businessman is very rational and very conscious about his business, more than any other consideration.
Not even voting.
Yeah, no, voting is just an event of a day.
Yeah.
And so it shouldn't influence the behavior of the trader to leave his goods for a week.
I see.
There's no bearing, there's no coronation.
Okay.
No people are clearing their goods as fast as they can. In fact, if you are putting prudence on the table, then it will mean that you have to rush to get your goods before the election, because you cannot foresee what might come. But you see, Ghana have come of age. We've gone through elections so many times. I'm telling you, we know the behavior, the psyche of election period, and we are so used to it. We've matured. Yeah. This thing, everybody knows that it will come, and it will come and pass, regardless of some of the heat and all that. and all that. But I've told you that most of the anxiety normally even go on the foreigners and all that who want to do this wait and see, make sure that even their resources here are shipped outside or transferred outside and all that for a reasonable period of time that is convinced to do. But for the Ghanaian, business goes on as usual.
As usual.
If there's any delay and then the reduction of the volumes, as Commissioner was saying, it is
That's
as a result.
revenue, not necessarily volume.
Yes. No, he mentioned volume also.
Volume.
So that it means that the effect of the COVID.
Yeah.
But even on our part of the world, especially Ghana, this thing did not affect us so much like it happened in Europe and all that. And I think business have been very consistent, and I think we'll sail through.
Yeah. But if you look back to history, in periods where in the month of, let's say, December, where there is no election, what is the pattern like? And the period where there is elections, what does the pattern depict?
Yeah.
So if you have, like, let's say 2017, 2018, 2019, December's without elections, what did the picture look like? And then December in 2020 or say 2016 where there is elections, what does it look like?
Yeah, for some time now, December seem to be the month which we got much revenue, because that is when the target was very high, because we are pushing the target according to the trend, and December, knowing that it is Xmas, people would import and clear, and then this thing. Sales in the economy will boom. But this time around, people come and tell us that sales are low. People are not buying enough like that they used to do, and therefore this has the rippling effect. Rippling effect. That's why we said that, as you said, people are also much into the elections. When you talk to people, they also tell us that they want their party to win, or they want another party to win, and so people are much into the elections. So that's why we are saying that after the 7th, let us see the outcome of the elections, so that people would then come to report and play, because we expect that in December. Business report will be high soon, so that we can get to our target and the seed. But this time around, after the election, before the elections, business report is low. Before the elections, from last week up to yesterday we went to work, it was low.
Relatively, if you compare to other.
Normally, because of demurrages and all that, nobody
would want
just
to
wait.
Because
and so there might be
some other
factors rather than, because for the trader that I know will always rush and go and get his good election or no election.
So it's good you brought that up. Could I then let me ask Mr. Yache, because could it be the broker? Somebody said, okay, I have been calling. I told my agent to go and clear. He says he's traveling to go and vote. Could it be the broker?
No.
Is the broker, if the broker chooses that, okay, I work for Guta, I work for the traders, but I also need to go and vote, and I come from Asamankese, so I have to go back to Asamankese and go and vote. And Dr. Obin will be calling me, but Sammy, go and clear my goods for me. I said, I need to get back to Asamankese and go and vote. I may not tell him, but find a way to go and vote and come. Could that be the point where that laxity will come from? Where, to him, he feels that demurrage, so they are working, they are clearing my goods, but to you, you need to go and vote and come.
I think that to any freight forwarder, the major consideration of whether I should clear the goods or not does not rest with me. it rests with the importer.
Okay.
If he's paid his duties, he's giving you some deposits for shipping line charges and port charges, and you expect the goods to be cleared within a day or two, you don't have any right whatsoever to say that you're going to vote and therefore the goods should wait. In any case, I also expect that...
But is there a possibility you don't have the right though, but is it
I will be highly surprised if that possibility comes up, because you give it to a company.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Integral Freight Services, all of us could be from Kumasi, and that all of us are going to Kumasi to vote, or even most of us are even going to Somenya, Kumasi, and voter ready to go and vote, and our numbers there can't go on and clear the consignments that we still have the port there. Of course, some of us also stay in Tema, we stay in Accra, and I believe that no matter what the situation is, we should be able to mobilize resources to clear the consignments that we have here. I don't think that any freight forwarder would keep the containers at the port there because it's time for elections, I'm going to vote, and therefore your goods can stay at the port till I come back. Who pays for the demurrage? Who pays for the rent? In any case, Monday is a holiday, which has been declared, and as the commissioner said, even yesterday we were at work. Today, Sunday, we went to work. And the port is open 24 hours. So even if you want to go and vote, Monday is a holiday, that's the only day you can give an excuse why you can't clear the goods. So all the days are opened, and I don't see the reason why a consignment may not be cleared because I'm going to Kumasi to go and vote.
The commissioner is also not even saying that it's only for this week. If it is for the week, then this week, then you can tie it to the election. But if it's something that is...
He mentioned, he referenced that this week it's been slow.
It's on monthly basis. He did it on monthly basis. November, December.
We just started the weekend.
The month of December.
Election is on Monday. So last week is gone already, where everybody would have cleared if they want to clear. But sometimes too, the effect of the COVID can never be ignored, because the process is such that when you even bring the goods, most of us will have to pay our suppliers the balance before they even hand over the documents to us. I would believe that if we have a chunk and they are not clearing, then there are factors like this that is delaying the clearing process rather than...
Can just create a situation where, assuming the security agencies are all giving alarm that, hey, there are pockets of fightings going on, Kumasi, Tema, Takrady, Sunyani, wherever, there will be the rush for everybody to take the containers from the port.
But relatively, in the year 2020 in particular, have you heard some of those things that your pockets of problems here?
No, nothing. Yeah, well,
even compared to other periods, this is even way lower.
It's very much I'm saying the port is still normal, and
there's sort of things we heard in previous elections and previous years are nowhere close to what we are hearing or we are hearing in 2020.
I think we need to congratulate the political parties. They are doing quite
relatively
well. They are still campaigning within the peaceful limits. And everybody doesn't seem to be
and what could have been the reason? Is it because of the somebody said because of the COVID, things are a bit slower, they haven't been everywhere, they are not mounting platforms and shouting and doing all of that. Could that be one of the reasons why things have been relaxed?
I think that's also part of it. Formerly, they were holding big rallies, like yesterday, for example, there have been big mammoth rallies here and there, and that's when people start so many utterances and they come and talk loosely and all that. But this time it looks as if some of them are doing virtual and they are quite diplomatic and they are very conscious of the type of words that they choose. And it has really relaxed the business community and it has relaxed the whole security atmosphere in the country.
It's a positive side of COVID. But let me ask you on what Dr. mentioned earlier with the movement of monies. Do you see that as well? That in electoral seasons, which I don't think that one COVID will prevent from happening in 2020, is a possibility in electoral seasons and periods. There's a possibility of experts returning monies home and all of that. Is that something you see? Yeah,
it's something that during our stay at this port we've experienced. But as to whether we are experiencing that this time, I'm not too sure about that. Now,
how would you know, though? How would you know?
A scenario needs to be created before we can justify why monies are being taken out of the country. For example, if we come back to the same insecurity issue, why should I import goods into the country when I know that the security situation in the country is not too good? Why should I import goods into the country when I know that there's an imminent security risk? I'm eloping. Why should I import goods into the country when I know that party A has taken up arms against the government, or party A has taken up is planning to take arms against the government? The money that I have, I don't need to import goods into the country, and therefore let me stay wherever I am. Do I have to keep the money in this country? No. It is even not safe to the foreigners. It's even not safe for me to keep the money at any of the local banks.
Are you sure?
Yes. When there is a unrest, it affects the local banks. So they rather keep the monies wherever they want to, outside the country. But then the situation, as I said earlier on, we haven't experienced that. And therefore, instead of keeping my monies, let me bring it in form of goods into the country and wait for the elections to go, which we are very hopeful that everything will go on peacefully. And start, when people are start jubilating, I also start selling my goods and all that. So from now till through 7 December to 7 January, I don't think that the business community is too apprehensive about insecurity and all that. They are quite relaxed, and I'm sure the Bank of Ghana will tell you we are not experiencing capital flights or money being taken out of the country and all that. Goods are still coming in.
If you know how speculation can affect money market and all that, this part of the world we underestimate those things. Speculation. And the rumors of war, if you do not do this, we do this, our utterances and all that. Elsewhere, it will even, crash the whole economy, because the speculation is very important for us to manage some of these things. Otherwise, these things that I've told you are rare, because these foreigners, they don't joke with some of these things. So here we've taken it for granted.
But do you see that we have less speculated within a period like this, particularly in the year 2020? We have less speculated that will give a trader or an expert that kind of less confidence to now then say...
We're talking about the locals against the foreigners. The foreigner is a foreigner.
Yeah.
The local will live with whatever situation, and especially when we have... we know our people and we know the psyche of why elections have been. He is a foreigner, and what have played in other countries in Africa, they lump Africa together. And so they will not single out Ghana. And that's why I'm talking about speculation and money markets. And so if we do anything and all that, fortunately, this year I think our campaigning and those threats have gone down a little, but they will not take it that way.
That is the part that I think is also interesting to look at. For the foreigner, they may not particularly single Ghana out. If you say that there's piracy on the Gulf of Guinea, there's piracy on the Gulf of Guinea, whether it's Ghana or Nigeria or Equatorial Guinea. So what... Don't you think that for the locals, yes, you may still have your confidence because you know how the trend is and all of that, but the foreigners, this can still weigh them down a little bit, this period in particular?
This is exactly what I'm saying.
And if it happens so, how do we get them back? How can the system build back that confidence after 7th December? Or let's say 8th or 9th, when we have, we know who... We have announced
that is a natural sequence. After elections, a winner is declared, confidence comes back. That is the norm, unless there's an outbreak of there's chaos or some sort. But if
naturally the confidence is retained.
I think the confidence is also there because of the history that we have.
Exactly, the history that we have as a country.
This, that. Every time there's nothing. Exactly. So we have the history and we are very confident. At times they call us and ask you, hey, today is your election year. how's the situation, who is winning. They will try to ask you who is winning, who is not winning, what's the situation like. Yeah. We also give them confidence that, oh yeah, everything is fine, and the campaigning is quite pleasant, blah, 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 and all that. And they don't seem to be...
It will surprise you to know that our suppliers outside know have a lot more information. Because they keep on asking, tracking, and then they will even Google research and then tell you something that you might not, because of some of the, because their money is very important, and they know how to move money at any stage of the. That's why I'm saying here we've taken some things for granted, but speculation, even if some in advanced nations, least thing that is speculated around can even trigger or bring a whole stock market to.
These letters of commitment, I don't know whether they are still working. Back in the previous period before your new system, you had the GCNet letters of commitment, the one that the exporters were to gain to return their monies back into our fold. Is it still working like that?
Yes. It is still the LOC. That's what we call the LOC, letters of commitment. No, it's for the exporters. It's for the exporters. And it's working. Yes. But as now, export is even higher.
Okay.
People are exporting
more. And are we getting the returns through the LOC as it's supposed to be?
Yeah. We there is an export office in Tema. We'll have to look at it. Those who export certain goods are supposed to fill the LOC. Yeah. And then the export officers will make sure that it is filled. So that one is done. And that one, the repatriate is the job of Bank of Ghana. Yeah. We will make sure that
the form is filled and all of that.
And it's gone.
Yeah. Because we are talking about monies outside and the period and how businesses feel confident to return these monies, I want to know. I want to know if indeed there's enough export is going up, as you are saying. There's that confidence in repatriating the returns back home as it should be through the LOC.
Yes, it's there because there is a condition attached. After 6 months and you have not repatriated, you'll be blocked. Okay. Bank of Ghana will block.
Okay. Yes. So you don't have any excuse, whether it's election period or not.
Election period or not. Once you export a certain commodity which require LOC, you have to fill. Okay. It's a condition. But before I want to talk about the savage, I want to make this clear. Nobody has stopped anybody from clearing the savage cars.
Good.
We are working on savage cars.
Yeah. So savage cars are coming in.
Oh yeah. People are bringing the savage cars. But you'll be surprised to go to car park and see some conditions of the vehicles. The owners bring them when they are given the tax bill and they see the amount to pay, they abandon. There are a lot of accident vehicles, savage vehicles, which cannot be redeemed, and these are the worry. But nobody has stopped anybody from clearing, and then vehicles are still coming. And we are clearing, and even vehicles give us more revenue now.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But has it been? Is that different from normal? I thought.
No. It's been the norm.
Okay.
Because
that vehicles give
because one vehicle can give about 400,000 Ghana cedis, while the 400,000 will come from so many containers.
Okay, one vehicle. Then what vehicles are there? Some wild Mercedes.
Rolls Royce and others can give
show us the owners of those vehicles. So let's go for a Christmas bonus from there. Okay, so the number, if you want to contribute, and I see the messages coming, I will read a few shortly. The number that you can share with us if you want to ask about import trade within this period, what to do, what not to do, you can share your thoughts with us. The WhatsApp number is 055-901 9177 020-552-8353 is the number you can call. This one says, can I Sammy, my name is Ebenezer from Takrady, and I want to know why import duty on vehicles are too high in Ghana. Is it? Import duty on vehicles too high in Ghana?
Oh, I'm not sure.
And he wants to know.
I'm not sure because as for this one, I will commend the government for introducing the 30% discount. It has even slide down import duties on vehicles. It has slide down.
Are your people, Doc, are your people seeing that? The traders who import some of these things, are they seeing that?
Yeah, to tell the truth, if you compare to the what it used to be, and now we having the benchmark reduction of 50%, and then with the cars also the reduction of the 30% for on the benchmark values. I mean, traders have been well served and exceptionals.
Mr. Yochi, help us to look at the whole of, because we may not have discuss again, the whole of the season, the year 2020 up to now with elections and all of that. What would you say that we can look back, and when we return from elections, these are the areas we need to be looking at so that 2021 may not necessarily be like 2020 or could be better?
I'm only praying that 2021 we may not have lockdowns as we had in 2020. 2020, beginning March up to now, has been quite...
Beginning January.
Beginning January, yes, up to March when we had we had the lockdown, the COVID-19 issues. That's when we started experiencing some quite big differences between this year and previous years. In March till now, business went quite down, not only in Ghana, but it was quite a global issue. Those were the times that we had to cut down our staff numbers. The shipping lines, for example, also even had to start operating from their homes. They also cut down their numbers, not only the shipping lines, almost all the port users and operators all started cutting down their numbers. And businessmen or importers also cut down their imports. Of course, even when you go to China and you want a consignment, because of COVID, some of the factories are also closed down, and therefore even you have the money and the capacity to import, you may even not have it. So it trickled down from China, from Europe, or from Americas to our offices in Ghana here. So we rather experience quite a slash in our importations, as the commissioner said. We even went through the negatives. 2022 was a period that we've all experienced that you realize that there was a need for us to go virtual, and there was a need for us also even that the paperless has been something that we should have even started long ago, and it has really brought the benefits of the paperless system. For example, the shipping lines and Ghana Ports and Harbours Authorities and others have all started even applying some basic issues that we have also been talking about on the paperless issue. E-payments, and customs is even now doing e-payments. You can even pay duties at the comfort of your homes or even at the banks without necessarily giving the monies to the clearing agent or necessarily bringing the money all the way to the port. So COVID, yes, could have its health implications, but to us as business people and the port users, we think that it has really opened up some gates to us to see that we are trying to use one way of doing things, and there were other alternatives we should have looked at, and which we are now looking at, and which I think that some of these ways are even more efficient than what we were relying on previously. For example, you can pay by Momo, shipping line charges, DPHA charges, and all others.
By Momo?
Yes, by Momo. DPHA, no. Shipping lines, yes. MPS, yes. Can even use your Visa card in the comfort of your... Is it
security friendly?
Security friendly.
Because I thought that there's a lot more banks that have come on board
So
that you can do
that on
customs
internet
duty
banking.
and all of that.
Yes, you can sit in the comfort of your homes and your offices and pay your duties.
Yeah, but the Momo one,
Momo
is it safe?
is quite safe, very safe.
Is it?
So far, very safe.
Okay.
And it's quite fast and quite efficient. It takes less than a minute and you are through.
Okay, let me dwell on this a little bit because of something I want to get clear. Isi, I know that you have increased the number of banks on which you can pay duties. It used to be what, and now is what?
Yeah, some time ago, only 2 banks were on board, EcoBank and GC, Ghana Commercial Bank. But now, licenses have been given to most banks like a Prudential Bank, Societe Generale.
Yeah, SSB.
These people now, Access Bank, and then some OXM Bank also. So now we have
the banks have gone up.
We have about 6 banks in the long run now, receiving government revenue, but I think they are about 18. So far as I know, those who have come to Tema to do business at the long run are 6, but we have 18 elsewhere. So people can do electronic banking.
Okay.
We have electronic banking. People sometimes come to the banks, bank hall and pay.
Because one of the things that I know, and even last 2 weeks when AC or Assistant Commissioner or Hine was here, we talked about the fact that you are encouraging more people to pay, more traders to pay directly to the banks, through the banks to you, to pay their duties through the banks to you. How do you reconcile that and the Momo that Mr. Yachi mentioned, for instance?
Okay, as for the Momo, I'm not sure, but
and here Momo is mobile money.
Mobile money, yeah. I'm not sure whether we are accessing Momo money. That one I'm not sure.
So but customs, you are not sure whether you are accessing the mobile money.
We are using the Momo to do big business, but we are given the opportunity to importers anybody to pay. Even not asking your agent to pay for you. You can sit in your home or office and pay. And
through the bank?
Through the bank, yes.
To you?
To you, yeah.
Okay,
you
so
can
then
pay.
let me just...
Now, the access is open to everybody.
Okay. So, Mr. Yachi, when you refer to the Momo, is it the transaction between you and your partners, the traders? Or it was, the Momo is something that runs through the chain?
It could be between you and your... principal,
the principal,
or
yes,
or your importer, between you and the bank, or between you and the shipping lines, between you and some of the port users.
Because he just referred that they are not sure the customs is not taking.
Customs, no. Customs we have to do it payment
through the banks.
Yeah,
yes,
through the banks.
Yes.
I mean, when I say Momo, I'm talking about the shipping lines and other port.
Yeah, because the customs. And you mentioned the Port Authority. I'm not sure.
Port Authority
is not taking the mobile money.
Yes.
Okay.
MPS, yes.
So
the shipping lines, most of them, yes.
Okay.
We are also
they accept
using
the mobile money.
The mobile money.
But is it secured?
Yes, very secured. So far, we haven't had any problem. Yes.
Because a lot
it's
of
not only been MTN, Vodafone too.
How do people get receipts from that?
They just send you the receipt almost simultaneously online to your email address.
The company sends you.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
When you pay, you just make payment through Nextline or MSC, and within 3-4 minutes you have your receipt posted to you. It's quite efficient.
Okay. Esi, if you also want to look back, or maybe I would let Doctor come in before I bring the policy side. If you also want to look back in the year 2020, the trader's point of view, what lessons would you draw from some of these factors that we have encountered all throughout? One, the COVID and the lockdowns and all the issues that happened, the elections that is coming up, and how things have fared so far. Again, the Christmas. What can we take away from that?
Yeah, You see, the year saw the transition from the GCNet into the ICAM system, and you could see that there were initial problems and all that. And now I think it's been solved from the look of things and all that. We want customs to fast track on some of these issues, especially entering into the continental free trade in the coming year and all that. Red tapeism and all that will not help the trading community. Okay. So the new norm, like Mr. Che was saying about the transactions, electronic transactions and all that should be enhanced so that it will boost clearing processes. Okay. And then also the means of payment. I mean, it is something that needs to be recommended because...
Which one?
The access to the various banks and all that by the trader paying. Because we used to have conflict with our agents and when it comes to the duty, the actual duty payment and all that. So in the past, we also proposed that it become a mandatory that we used banker's draft to pay duty itself, so that this kind of conflict wouldn't come between the two of us and all that. So if the payment have become so easy for you to do the payment directly through the system, is good.
Okay. So this texter, Nana, says that please ask the officer about the new system for checking duties on cars because it's not user-friendly at all. Honestly, I was shocked to pay a total bill of almost 40,000 Ghana cedis to clear a BMW X3. Before shipping the car from the US, I used the old duty calculator and was about 30,000 Ghana cedis. Honestly, it's too much list of breakdown to digest. Thanks. Nana sent that one. So, AC, on the background of Nana's text message, what can we also look at? The year 2020. While responding to him first, though, okay, and what we can improve and do going into 2021.
Okay, valuation of vehicle depends on the factors, on so many factors. Maybe when we apply the ADD, that's the value that the manufacturer quoted at the time of at the time the vehicle was manufactured, and so depending on the age, and then there are some special features which are embedded in the VIN or the chassis number, and so when we put everything in the system, the particulars and then everything about the vehicle will come out, and the AGV is automatic. Nobody can attempt to where I'm concerned. Nobody can. So depending on the vehicle you bring, maybe it will be a higher class X3, and then therefore paying 30,000 somewhere and paying 40,000 now, there can be very depending on the chassis. You can bring the same mood, but the special feature can result in some revenue differentiation. Now back to your to what you want me to address.
Yes, but is the duty calculator working? Do we have one working?
Now at first ICOM did not show the HDV, but now it's there. It has been populated, and so if you are paying on a Toyota Corolla, the HDV is there. Okay. Any vehicle you want to clear, the HDV will be given, and then depending on the age, if it is a 1 year old, we give you 15%, and then if it is 2 years, you go to 30%, and so depending on the age, if it is 5 years and above, it's 50%. Before the 30% government discount is applied,
And anybody can do this calculation?
Yes,
for the ordinary person on the market, can they just put their chassis number or VIN number in the calculator and begin to get their
yeah, that one, if you go
because
to the
it used to be like that before.
GRA Customs Web is there. Is there? Yeah, I think Mr. Ohene there, the chairman gave it. So if you go there, and that one will give the estimate, and some people rely on it. They go, and when they get it about 30,000 Ghana, they think that's the final. But when you go, the CTSB, the valuation people will put in the system, and then other incidental charges will come. That's why I said they look at the special feature. A vehicle, for instance, with a special feature would be in the chassis. So if it's there, because I remember 2 vehicles came, and then this agent or the importer came and complained. So we verified from the CTSB, and then they told us that we should look at a certain alphabet. And that alphabet changed everything, and so people should not rely on the estimate. If the person who paid higher, and you think you have paid higher wrongly, and you come, we shall take you through and then ascertain, and then I think a solution can be found. So if somebody has anything against duty pay, the person can walk in, and then we can investigate.
Okay. Now to your the lessons that you can draw, and what we are to see different from customs next year, 2021, God willing.
Yeah, 2020 has been a very challenging year, and I hope that 2021 will be a year of with a difference. I expect that importers can have access to travel, and bring in goods, and then we at the port operators will come together, and then because now there is no work alone syndrome. We will have to work with that. All the stakeholders will come together, and I expect that people will master the ICOMs. People will master the ICOMs, because the challenges have come down. But we realize that some people will put in office code which are wrong, and that will block the declaration. You have to cancel at a fee, and so people should take their time and prepare the declaration, not to punch any key and say that yes, I'll get away with it. CPC, the intention must be clear, is specific to the CPC, and so if you use a wrong CPC and it's found out, you have to suffer the consequence. So my anticipation is that the paperless will be deepened. Last week or so, Tema, we have seen that some of the suspend regimes you have to come and apply before approval is given. So a memo has been sent to officers that from now on, if somebody is working on home consumption consignment, and the person that does not apply but quickly go into the system and put the declaration, how come that export? If we are doing export, you have to bring a letter to the sector commander of the 2IC to approve before you go in. And so all these things are time wasting. So we have written to officers to look at it and take the bull by the horn. And then we want to give officers some level of authority to exercise their skills at the various duty points, and then therefore 2021 we will see people applying to do business with customs, just know your intention. Let your intentions be clear.
Yeah.
If it is warehousing you want to do, you go by the warehousing regulations. If it is export you want to do, go by the export regulations and put things in its right perspective instead of coming for the sector commander to look at it. Go back to some duty point for them to assess for you. You come back to sector commander to approve or the 2IC to approve. It does not help everybody. Okay. And then therefore we are empowering our officers to just assist stakeholders when they come to them, instead of saying that unless you see sector commander approving before I work on it. So we are empowering our officers. 2021 we are going to empower our officers to take the right decisions at their duty points.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I'm going to pick international news and then we can wrap up. This one wants to know whether the app to calculate is on Android, iOS, or iOS that can be used to calculate duties at the port. The app, how can people? I think in the past we had a particular application that they all could download and then use it to do. I don't know how, easy people can download this particular one. So you can chew on this one. Let me just go for international news and then we come back and get a response and wrap up.
A container shipping liner, Ocean Network Express, has revealed that about 40 containers of the estimated 1,900 boxes damaged or lost from one APA's container ship earlier this week are believed to contain dangerous cargo. The 14,052 TEU container ship was en route from Yantian, China to Long Beach, USA, approximately 1,600 nautical miles northwest of Hawaii on November 30, when it encountered a violent storm cell producing gale force winds and large swells, which caused the one APUS to roll heavily, resulting in the dislodging of the lost containers. The master diverted the vessel to ensure the ongoing safety of the crew and ship until conditions eased. The Japanese-flagged box ship is now proceeding in a westerly direction towards Japan with plans to seek a suitable port to right unstable containers, assess any damages, and determine the exact numbers of containers lost. 4 seafarers have been kidnapped in the latest piracy attack in the Gulf of Guinea involving a crude oil tanker. According to Dryad Global, the boarding of MV Agesilaus was reported on November 29 while the vessel was underway in Ghanaian waters, 5 nautical miles from the western edge of the Gulf of Guinea and 22 nautical miles west of Togo's territorial waters. Data from the marine traffic shows the ship was approaching the port of Lomé, Togo from Point Noir in Congo. Drad said that the vessel's AIS data indicates that the ship's crew attempted to avoid the boarding through evasive maneuvers but was not successful. The tanker reportedly had 23 crew members on board prior to the incident, including Russian, Romanian, and Filipino nationals. The vessel is now reported safe. Local authorities have been notified. Data from DRAD shows that this is the 24th confirmed kidnapping incident in the waters of the Gulf of Guinea within 2020, with 122 crew kidnapped from vessels. The attack is being reported on the back of a string of successful kidnappings in the area over the past month. Member unions of the International Transport Workers Federation have helped recover more than $1.7 million in wages owed to seafarers amid a concerning rise in abandonment cases by ship owners. The national union affiliates have assisted more than 135 seafarers across 12 ships in the Arab world to return to their families across the globe. Cases of abandonment and unpaid wages is reportedly on the rise. Also, more employers are believed to be withholding the wages they owe to seafarers who are paying the price. This has been largely attributed to crew change. Government's COVID-19 border restrictions, the cost of international flights mean that more employers are cutting their losses and abandoning their obligations towards seafarers. The ITF said In typical cases of abandonment, employers will stop paying wages for a number of weeks and even months. 14 nations represented on the high-level panel for a sustainable ocean economy and accounting for 30% of the world's oceans through the exclusive economic zones have committed to the sustainable management of the ocean. The nations led by Norway include Australia, Canada, Fiji, Jamaica, Japan, Portugal, Chile, Ghana, Indonesia, Kenya, Mexico, Namibia, and Palau. The countries have now made a commitment to sustainably manage 100% of the ocean areas under their national jurisdiction in line with sustainable ocean plans by 2025. This means that in 5 years' time, close to 40% of the world's coastline and 30% of all exclusive economic zones will be covered by integrated management plans. The Ocean Panel's final report identifies 5 key building blocks to creating a sustainable ocean economy, which are using data to drive decision-making, engaging in goal-oriented ocean planning, de-risking finance, and using innovation to mobilize investment and stopping land-based pollution. The Methanol Institute is urging the maritime community to mitigate pollution and emissions risk in polar regions by adopting methanol as marine fuel and applying bunkering guidelines developed by the European Committee for Standardization. The call is being issued on the back of IMO's meeting in November, which resulted in the adoption of amendments to MAPO regulations to restrict the use of heavy fuel oil in Arctic waters. The ban has been criticized because it includes exemptions and waivers that can be granted by the Arctic states. Some NGOs are also concerned that very low sulfur fuel oil used in place of heavy fuel oil contains high levels of black carbon, a particularly dangerous pollutant to the Arctic environment where it can settle on and increase the melt rate of sea ice. The Institute said, used as a marine fuel, conventional methanol emits no sulfur, very low PM, and according to data from Man Energy Solutions, has carbon dioxide emissions around 20% lower than conventional marine fuel oil. To meet IMO requirements, methanol can be blended with water, which brings the ship into compliance without the need for expensive exhaust gas after treatment.
So the entire country will be voting tomorrow. We'll hear from the leaders of the various institutions, GUTA, ACHAG, AC, just advise, you know, encourage people and what to do also after elections. We'll get back to work as usual, get back to our trading. I'll get that from them shortly. But Salinas from Tema says, hello, please ask the officer, I paid for duty on Toyota Vets in August for 8,900 Ghana cedis. there was a chassis mistake. After correcting the mistake, I had to pay another 2,200 Ghana cedis. Can he tell me what could have amounted to the high cost of the charge? Thank you. That's from Selena. And David from Tema says, good evening, Sammy. Moving forward, the shipping lines should beef up their staff strength, since some of those working at home are not proactive and delays work. They should move their closing time to 5 p.m. Finally, the banks should also close at 5 p.m. Sometimes the shipping lines and the banks frustrate freight forwarders through the aforementioned processes. That is coming from David in Tema. So quite a lot of lessons to learn. When we bounce back from the elections, these are some of the things we can all do to continue trading and trading effectively for that matter. Doc, tomorrow, everybody is going out there to go vote. What message would you have to for your people? And when they return, how do we get back to business?
Yeah, I believe we have so many responsible politicians around. But it is also true that we have some few recalcitrant ones for which we all have to be able to contain them and to make sure that the other stakeholders who are outside the political arena should join hands and reprimand any such recalcitrant one who want to plunge the nation into chaos. I think it's about time that all other stakeholders, civil society organizations and all that should join hands and watch with eager eyes any of such people who want to plunge the nation, because business thrives on peaceful environment. Yeah. And then the nation also belongs to all of us. Yeah. And that we cannot afford leaving it on the hands of just a few. And so there are many of us, about over 90% who are outside the political arena, should be able to make our mind known to the politicians. But having said that, I have a lot of respect for the politician. I know they are well-meaning people who are going to be responsible. Our mandate is to go and vote, and their mandate is to accept the outcome so that we will all live in perfect peace.
Thank you.
To do our businesses and for the nation also to go on.
Thank you very much. Osayachi.
Ghana is all that we have. We don't have anywhere going. It's nice and it's good. Yes, nice and it's good to get up in the morning, have a place to go and work, go to the port, go around and clear your containers and come back to the house peacefully with your wives and your children. Yeah. So that's what we want to protect. And in protecting that, we've all agreed that yes, we need to elect our leaders. And it's about choice. Everybody will have to choose either I want A or I want B. When we make a choice, life goes on. Yeah. That should be it.
And we shouldn't get back to business.
Get back to business. So we start going back to the port and do our business and wait for another 4 years.
It's not for anybody to come.
We should even look at when we went on lockdown. At times when you get up in the morning, you are not even going to work. How stressful at times it is.
Just boring.
Yes, boring. Than to see a militia man on the streets or people with guns on the streets saying that you don't have to come to the streets, and all the soldiers are saying that nobody should get out of the house, everybody should stay indoors.
It's not something you want to see.
No, it's not nothing we want to see. So I think that Ghana is all that we have, as I said earlier on. We need to protect it, do our business, and move on with our lives and build a better nation for our children and our grandchildren.
Yeah. Izzy, have you voted already? You special voting?
Oh, no. Okay. I'm yet to vote.
Okay. Yet you do it the regular way.
Because I want my people, my area people to know that I've also voted
with them. Yes, for them. Okay. Yeah. So what would you also have to say to trading community as we all prepare to go vote? And then when we return, what do we get back with?
Okay. Monday has been declared a holiday to enable all Ghanaians to go and vote. All eligible Ghanaians to go and vote. Yeah. We must go and vote, and then appoint our leaders. And after the voting, and then after the voting, on Tuesday, we expect this thing the trading people to come to the port.
Just Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, come and pay duty for
Monday, because Monday is a loss to us. We are not working, and so we treat that on Tuesday. If everybody who has goods the port to come and work and pay, so that we can redeem the lost revenue. And so we expect that people will come in their numbers because the port people, the stakeholders are ready to welcome and do business with people. So that now the port is safe because officers are on the ground to assist them. And if they have any challenge, they shouldn't go about and complain. There are some avenues to report to.
Like where? Your office?
Like my office, AC's office. They can report, or they can report to the chief revenue in charge of ADOR, the chief revenue in charge of a preventive. And then the second in command is there, the 2IC is there, the second commander 2 is there, and so all the terminal heads you can approach them. If the challenge is higher than them, they can escalate to the sector commander. If it's above the sector commander, then it will go to Accra. But
you go to the commissioner or commissioner.
Commissioner, yes. Okay. But where we cannot address, that is where we tell you that in the law, go and see Commissioner General or commissioner. But if it is within our jurisdiction, we are prepared to address.
Okay, thank you very much, AC, and thank you very much, gentlemen. But AC, this one says, please, I don't expect you to answer. I just want to read because he said he sent it a long time. I need to. Please, I want to know why, if a car is from the USA, the US dollar for the duties is used. When it's coming from Europe, they use euro, but if it's coming from Japan, they use dollar. You don't use the Japanese currency. He's not enthused about that. Is that the case?
I think if it's coming from Japan, you use the yen.
You use the yen.
But it will depend. It will depend where the vehicle is coming from. It will depend where the vehicle is coming from. Japan. If it's coming from Japan, it's yen.
Okay.
It's yen.
So my guests in the studio have been Mr. Yauche. Mr. Yauche, by the way, let me just say, Opoku Secondary School, your former school prefect. Is it Okatechie you call yourself?
Okatechie.
And apparently Dr. Bin was your junior. Or Dr. Bin, that's your SP?
No. He was my SP.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
He was a good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Very decent, very gentle. Everybody loved him.
I see. You call him what, Senior Chi?
Senior Chi.
Okay, so Mr. Yauche is the president of the Association of Customs House Agents of Ghana. That's ASHAG. Mr. Joseph Eduche is the assistant commissioner of customs, the Tema sector commander, Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. So if you kept hearing AC, that's the assistant commissioner. He is in charge of Tema. So that's why he said, if you deal with Tema and you do any business around the port in Tema, you have issues, his office, or you deal with the chief revenue officers at the port. Dr. Joseph Obeng is the president, the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. All the men and women who have been trading in the country, their unions, and the association of their unions. The man is a big man. He's the one in charge. He's a top businessman as well. He says you should enjoy the electoral season, go vote, and then enjoy the Christmas. No fears. See you same time next week, God willing. The president should be speaking at 8 p.m., I'm told, so you may want to listen and pick if there are any advices, particularly towards the elections, we should all adhere. We'll see you same time next week.